Get ready to talk hockey. Streaming from the Oilers Live Studio. Subscribe or follow today.
Whoa. Got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. Hey, it's Michael here from Oilers Live with another Oilers Live Tuesday. Couldn't see us there for a second, but happy to be here with my good buddy Dash. I'll get this podcast thing down pat. It's been 6 years. Should have I'm just about there.
Good recovery, fella.
Oh, hey, that's what I'm here for. The recovery. I'm not here for the talent, I'll tell you that.
Just like an Oilers Kugel comeback in Boston.
That's right. All right. Well, we're back here for another Tuesday edition of Oilers Live after Oilers defeat the Ottawa Senators 6-3. Ottawa coming off a disappointing loss to the Calgary Flames and then losing again, giving up 5 or 6. They've really had some challenges in net, with Forsberg, right? Forsberg being injured. That was in an Edmonton game. I think he himself. 2 knee injuries, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And anyway, Oilers are back, and you're gone. And just like that, Dash is gone. He's back again. We're having all sorts of issues here tonight. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining the show. We've got some stranger already online. Says, "Hey kids." Hey, some stranger, how you doing? Hey, everybody, thanks for watching. Dash, how you doing? And what'd you think of the game tonight?
Long time no see, hey?
Yeah, been a little while.
Been a minute. What do I think of the game? It was a sloppy first period, obviously. Came out a little slower than we'd probably have liked. But then probably just kind of showed them that we're the better hockey club. By the second period, they... I don't know, the goaltending, Sogard looked overwhelmed. The power play finally clicked. Then momentum took over, and they looked like a team that was at the end of their road trip, quite frankly. Beautiful to see the bottom 6 keep scoring. Ekholm's a beast. Ekholm's a beast. I love it. Look at Connor go. Most points since 27 seasons. Dries picking up a Hundy. It's a good game, buddy.
Yeah, it is. This is kind of the kind of game that the Oilers, need to win, right? Like they can afford to have a sloppy period. I've been joking with anybody that listens to me, which is a very limited list.
I've been forced to.
You're forced to. The Oilers will get down 2-1 or 3-1, and I'll tell my line always is, well, that doesn't guarantee you a point against the Oilers. You got to score 5, right? If you want to win the game, and 4 points if you want to guarantee yourself a point. And tonight's no different, right? Like this team is, and I don't know if we need to be scared yet or not, but this team is definitely scoring their way into the playoffs. It's kind of a minimum 4-goal game for them, and then the
46 in the last 10.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like
you got to score 5. You're right.
You got to score 5.
For once, you're right.
Yeah. So like if I'm Manson out there in the back, I'm telling him guys, just keep it below 4.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be
31,
hard. Like
31 against in the last 10. So just keep her below 3 and score 4. And
so it's nice though. And you know what? Regular season I can deal with this because it's fun hockey, right? And they still, they had a game like they had in Boston. Yeah, that's, to me, that game in Boston, that's a playoff style game right there. That's a team, that game actually got them a lot of street cred, I think, with the mainstream media, which we are not.
Oh, and every person in that stadium, I was sitting with them.
Yeah.
I walking out of TD Garden, all I got was, "Oh my God, you guys have McDavid. You're so lucky. And that was the best game we've seen at the Garden all year. And see you in the finals." And it was like everybody was fantastically respectful. And I think it was just that said right there, McDavid.
Some stranger says, when was the last time they let in just one goal? It's got to be a long time ago, right? I guess the other thing, like that's a good question. I was thinking about this, and it's probably right there in front of me.
7-1 win on January 13th against San Jose.
Against San Jose. Yeah. San Jose.
Before that, New Year's Eve against the Jets.
Have the Oilers had a shutout this year?
One, I believe. Two. Weren't they back? Maybe not, actually.
I don't
Yeah,
think
they did. They did. It was early. St. Louis or something.
No, they've been
maybe St. Louis shut us out.
Shut them out.
Yeah, maybe not. I thought we did have one, though.
St. Louis shut them out. The Islanders shut them out. No, looking back, the Oilers have not had a shutout this year. It's ridiculous.
Wow, look at that.
I mean, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was looking at
goaltending's just been good or average or Campbell.
But yeah, look at Sorokin's got 5 shutouts on the season. Yeah. I mean,
well, did you hear Stauffer? Maybe it was yesterday saying, look at the expected goals, or except the saves against the expected goals against, and according to Puckpedia, Smith was 5th in the NHL, all categories 2 years ago, and 14th in the NHL last year. And I think he said Skinner before tonight was 68th, and Campbell was 95th or something like that.
So I don't look at Skinner and think he's playing poorly. So he's pretty positionally sound. I think, this team, right, the nature of how they play will just give more more odd man chances the other way. Like that shorthanded goal. I know in the group chat there's some discussion about, Bouchard needs to hit the net. I love that play by Bouchard though. Like that's a play that Barry didn't give us, right? Mm-hmm. And then he goes and he does the same thing later on too. And it hits the post.
And then he almost breaks McDavid with another shot.
Yeah. Well, I still think he might kill somebody with that shot. But
he did hurt somebody in the playoffs last year, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Didn't he hurt from somebody from Colorado or something? Like, didn't he hurt
Nichushkin? Right? Like he's got a blast. But he brings that to the power play that Barry never brought. Like Barry, and I'm not downplay. Barry was great on a power play, right? Like he was just a good puck mover. But I'm not worried at all. But Neil Garrity says, by the way, maybe you guys should stop saying shutout. We've totally screwed it up. We've screwed this team over. There.
Well played.
Thanks for tuning in. Anyway, I totally lost it. Saw that in the chat, and I had to.
But if I'd have told you that the Oilers have given up 7 goals, 5 goals, 6 goals, 6 against Columbus, you know what I mean? Like 5 goals all in the last 15 games, you'd think that we went 0-13. Like, it's pretty funny what we're doing with the offense to be able to, and with the power play too. I mean, geez.
So you know what? Tell us in the chat right now if you're watching and you're into the whole chat thing. Let us know. I'm gonna just hold on. I'm gonna bring up the Twitter chat as well and see if I can't find that and respond to anybody in the Twitter chat. Twitter's a little bit different than the rest. If you want to chat, my advice is join us on YouTube at youtube.ca/heavyhockey. I want to know from those of you that are watching, like, do you like the type of game that the Oilers are playing? Like, are you happy with, this shoot 'em up 6 win, or is this, mostly frustrating to people, right? Like for me, I'm happy as long as they make the playoffs. I mean, this is exciting hockey to me. I love it. I love seeing, the Oilers come out and score 4 and I'm fine if they let in, if they win like tonight 6-3. 3 goals is, a shitty performance. The funny thing was
you don't take an F1 car to a drag race, buddy.
No, I know. Where Neil says we're playing Oilers hockey, that's true. I was watching the TSN feed because I'm out here in Eastern Canada, and they asked the question they asked the question of each other. When's the last time somebody finished in below 20 in goals against in the league and won the Stanley Cup? Like in the bottom 10 of the league and won the Stanley Cup. Never. It's never happened. So like the Oilers are kind of up against history right here. I think they're sitting right in 21st, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they're sitting at 21st in the league in goals against right now, and first in goals for, which, considering where they are in goals against, and they've got a plus 34 differential. Pretty damn unbelievable.
And one of the best 5-on-5 teams since Woodcroft took over in the NHL.
And I have to ask. I mean, let's talk about it because we haven't talked about it since. I said the other day, we dodged a bullet on Chychrun. I believe that, 100% believe that. Like, lots of people screaming for Chychrun. I think we dodged a bullet. And I think I'm going to say this. I think Ken Holland pulled off the best trade at the deadline in getting Ekholm.
Mm-hmm.
At least the one that will make the biggest difference to
as far as skill set that meets a need, right?
Yeah. Like it's I would say that's the piece. And Bjugstad, what a beauty tonight at the
how do you like? Yeah, I mean, how about that one goal tonight? Well, Bjugstad from Costin and Ekholm, right? Like, give the third assist to Ken Holland. None of those guys started the year on our team.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great. All right. Because it's my show, Dash thought he'd try a new format tonight, so we're going to do that.
It's not like me to just barge my way into things and take over.
Hey, Michael, I love your show. This is a text here. I should be showing it to you guys, but it says, Michael, love your show, but you really need to do a new format. Here's what we're doing tonight. So here's we're gonna do 3. It's like 3 questions. We'll do this. We'll try this out, and we'll get a focus group to tell us how it is after the fact. And so we'll do. We've got what here? 3 different sort of things we're gonna do. True heavy hockey play of the night, biggest surprise of the game, and then we ask each other one question. Hockey related question in a specified format. And so let's start with the true heavy hockey play of the night. I got to get like what we need is one of those, like some kind of audio in the back. So like it says heavy hockey play of the night, right? Or something. I don't know, something wrestling kind of thing or whatever. So true heavy hockey play of the night: hit, forecheck, fight, or turnover. You want to start?
I like it. Mine for me was when Draisaitl stapled Chychrun to the boards, and basically you brought it up. Just showed every Oilers fan in one fell swoop why we didn't want Jacob Chychrun on our team. But you could tell getting up that he looked a little woozy. It doesn't take long to dig into my Twitter feed to see which one of the NHL hockey insiders that I ran into at the airport, and he told me that that he shares an agent with Chychrun, and that the biggest problem with his health is his back, and that all the teams across the entire league sent medical reports and sent doctors and tried to figure out if Chychrun was worth the price. And it was only Ottawa that was interested at the end of it because of, his sister lives there and his grandfather lives there. And what a story. He comes back and scores a couple of points and his grandpa's in the stands. And great. You know what? Some people just belong in some places. And if he belongs in Ottawa, that's great. It's not in Edmonton, and that's not where I wanted him to be.
Yeah, and you can't, you definitely can't get on the guy himself. I'm just glad he's not an Oiler, and Ekholm is. I mean, you know what? I wouldn't have been upset if Holland found a way to get both of them. I just don't think Chychrun was the guy that we needed. So the focus was in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, for me, I mean, I hate to do this, but it's the same thing that hit by Draisaitl. It's it's just that it's Draisaitl's way of playing. Like if he's
a prick.
He is. He is. Like if you're not on his team, you gotta hate him. Absolutely hate him. Right? Like,
isn't there a little bit of a Ginla in him? Like the best way to keep him out of the game is to just not wake him up.
I'm curious because he's never mic'd up or anything, but is he a good chirper?
I like when he skated by the Rangers bench and said, "Hey, it's coming," and then they scored 4 more goals. And Connor skated through 6 people to win the game after he, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I did have a backup for the heavy hockey play if you don't want to have the same one. I honestly thought there was a huge momentum shift as well when Skinner made that massive save when the game was 3-2.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that sucked the wind right out of the Senators. And from that point on, we just kind of poured it on. So, from a goaltending perspective, I like that play too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And, it goes back to this style or brand of hockey. You just need your goalie to make that one save. I'm still stuck on this goals for. Boston has a plus 100 goal differential. That's sick. Plus 100. Who does that? Boston does. They're something else. All right. So true heavy hockey play of the night. We both agreed on the Draisaitl hit. Biggest surprise of the game in terms of players. I will go. I'll start with this one because you got the last one. Another guy we were talking about in the chat, Foegele. It seems to be, that Woodcroft's playing him while he's on a high, right? Playing him up with Draisaitl and Nuge. And I like it. Like his attempt to drive the net that led to the Draisaitl goal.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. The thing with Foegele is I love him when he's when he's playing well. But I just, I said this before, I just don't trust him, right? Like you just can't trust him to be consistent. But tonight was a good night. And in fact, I mean, maybe it's not a surprise after the way he's played of late. He's been pretty good lately. This is a good time for him. But I like watching him play. And he is definitely a talented player. I don't get the consistency problems with him, but big surprise that he's doing as well as he's doing lately. Your thoughts?
For me, something that jumped out at me, I didn't realize Jake Sanderson was their best defenseman.
Oh yeah.
Like, you got a team with Chychrun and, a lot of youth there and people that should be maybe further along in the depth chart than they should be. That kid could wheel. Like he kind of walked the blue line a little bit like Barry. I thought that there was a lot of movement. He covered off 24 minutes, but Chabot maybe having a down year. He's had better years, but I hear the same things about Chabot that I hear about Nurse all the time, right? Like, how are we going to fix this part of his defense, and how are we going to fix Chabot, and how are we going to fix Nurse? I don't know. I just think they are who they are, but I was really impressed with Sanderson, son of Jeff Sanderson too. Played for the Oilers.
Yeah. I actually liked Jeff Sanderson when he played.
Fast as hell.
And Hill is McLeod allergic to hitting? He had a very good opportunity to finish the guy on the puck and did yet another flyby.
That's his criticism.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. There's some of that coming up with McLeod, I find, of late, where he maybe just doesn't seem as tough as he should. But there's a lot of things I like that McLeod does well, and he's got the speed, and as long as you're not playing him too far up the lineup, I've got no big problem with it. But that was the big scouting report on McLeod before he even made it into the NHL.
Player.
Yeah. So, all right. Ask one question. All right. Let's see. You go first because this was your idea.
I go first this time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this one feeds off of a little bit more of the Maple Leafs game than the Ottawa Senators game. But if you could punch, if you got a free punch on one hockey player, with no repercussion, and you could just run and sucker punch one hockey player, would it be Jacob Trouba, Kessler, or Bunting?
Oh, yeah. Like this is probably, you should know the answer, what I would pick on this.
Yeah.
I mean, it all three of those guys would be all right. Like, could you just line them all up?
Like a domino.
Of course, you've not seen me hit. I mean, it might not do any damage whatsoever. No,
Trouba's the only one bigger than you, so
it would be Trouba. I
knew your answer, but man, Bunting was annoying that game.
Oh yeah. And Bunting's good at that. I think like he, his whole thing is just to be like a bit of an idiot, right?
Well, his gloves are glued to his hands, right? There's no way those things that he's ever gonna have.
Well, and that's even Kachuk will throw down once in a while, right? Like, you got to give that guy credit. But Bunting, I mean, you're 100% right about that. Like, and then his comments after. Oh well, I'm not going to say what he said in the media. Well, you don't need to say anything then. Yeah,
smell like Matt Cook. It's just like blech.
Yeah. And Kessler. Well, yeah. You got like. Oh, I actually. Damn it! That's a hard question because
never forgiven for 2017.
Yeah, and he's just like a
so smart
douche every time you see him on anything. Yeah. Right? Like, there's just nothing like Bieksa. At least I like, like yeah.
I knew it'd make you think.
Yeah.
Not the obvious answer.
Yeah. I'd have it'd be like you put the three of them side by side, and then who would you run at? Bunting wouldn't be.
Yeah, honorable mention to Mikey Anderson. Thanks, Neil.
Yeah. Okay. So my question to you, and I was thinking too much about your question. I don't have a good one yet. All right, let's think about this. Okay. If you could pick. One NHL defenseman to go one-on-one with. You skating down the wing on the Oilers. Who would that be? So obviously you got to pick the worst guy that you think is easiest to get around. Which I mean, you don't have much to choose from, but
that's a really good question, actually.
I mean, if you thought if you had one chance, maybe it was for $1 million, you get to go one-on-one against an Oilers defenseman. All you had to do is beat him and get a shot on net. So it'd have to be one of the starters. So Nurse, Ekholm, Ceci, Kulak, Bouchard. We'll put Broberg in there or Desharnais.
So just not any defenseman employed by the Oilers?
No, because there's maybe a few.
Well, I'd pick Duncan Keith.
Duncan Keith, yeah. He's
employed by the Oilers. That's a really good question, dude.
Neil says Bouchard.
I think it would be Bouchard. Yeah, I do.
I'd go with Ceci.
No, you want to go against a first pairing defenseman.
Yeah,
of all of your choices.
I feel like one-on-one
depends. Is Nurse in the wrong end?
And it depends on how much of a skate you get, But I would be my concern, especially guys of our skill level, semi-pro skill level.
Broberg outskates me, Nurse outskates
Yeah,
me.
and
Maybe it's Kulak, but
those
he'll just
guys
punch
with the
me in the
long
head.
sticks like Bouchard and Desharnais, like they're
Bouchard's the
hard to play,
smallest.
right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go in against Nima Leinen, you're never coming out.
Yeah. Anyway, I'd probably pick CC, but you're going with Bouchard?
Yeah, or Duncan Keith. Yeah, I'd pick Bouchard.
Halfway through the season, we were screaming, "Where's Duncan Keith?
6'1" or whatever." Bouchard.
We found our Duncan Keith in Ekholm, right? Like we found the guy that we wanted. Duncan.
Put some respect on Ekholm's name. Come on, man.
Yeah. Epiphany says if you're suicidal, Ekholm or
yeah, exactly. Or Nima Leinen.
Yeah, or Nima Leinen.
I think I'd take Nurse before Nima Leinen.
Yeah. You want a guy. The reason I think CC's just a solid D guy, but he's a stay-at-home.
He's a bear,
right? Yeah, he's a stay-at-home guy. So I mean, if you had a chance of like going, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we wouldn't be able to get past any of them, but if you had a chance to go get past anybody, my thought would be CC or maybe even Kulak, for that matter. But still, and any one of them. I remember watching a sports science show a few years back. They had they put this like dummy with all the biometrics on and the whole deal, and they had an NFL linebacker hit it at full. I can't even remember who the linebacker was, but
just break most people's ribs.
Oh yeah, no, it was like 10,000 pounds of force or something crazy, and I just remember like. Oh man, and I think like these are professional athletes, so it's you're going to get the same type of when these guys hit. It's not like beer league, I'll tell you that.
This just in, shocking breaking news: the Calgary Flames have picked up a loser point.
Did they again? Oh man,
Coyotes just scored an OT.
Yeah, so the Flames beat. Flames beat Ottawa last night quite handily. What was it like? Or the night before? I guess it was on Sunday night. They beat them 5-1. And actually, Ottawa's in rough, but I thought the Flames did really well against Ottawa. I watched the game and they looked to be the stronger team. Huberdeau probably. I mean, guy's been. I think the Athletic had him as the number one disappointment in the league this year.
I don't know.
But he had a beauty.
Look what Markstrom just did and then answer that again.
Well, yeah. So Markstrom was in the top 10 disappointments, too.
He just moved into the top 3.
Are you watching the replay?
Yeah. Remember Marc-Andre Fleury in the World Juniors?
Yeah.
Yeah, Markstrom just did that in overtime.
Man. I mean, Markstrom's
passed it to the guy in the slot. Here. Try
there
again.
you go. Although we've seen Smith do that a few times.
Neil asked if all the jerseys had captains on them, and I know, Neil, I am the captain of Team Oilerslive, the one and only.
Yeah. Neil, he did ask me to sign it for him, but I don't want him making any money off that.
Let's be honest. Michael already came to my house and went around signing all my sports cards in my room.
That's right. Yeah, I signed it. I just took a Jiffy marker and signed it. Fuck you, Dash. Did you guys see McDavid get? Oh yeah, there you go. That's a card worth keeping right there. It's going down in price though. Most cards go up in price. That one's going down. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Some stranger says, did you guys see McDavid get pissed at Bouchard after he turned over the puck in the middle of the ice?
Yeah, I did, and he deserved it. And McDavid's getting more and more pissed all the time. You can see him calling players out more and more. I like it. That's what being a real captain is. Keep people accountable.
Yeah, and it's not anything new. I mean, he used to get pissed off at Puliarvi every single game, at least once for a while there. Yeah. I shouldn't have even brought that up. I mean, we haven't talked about him. It's been, in fact, getting Puljujarvi out of the lineup. I know I just said we shouldn't talk about him, but it's done exactly what I wanted it to do, which is not make him a focal point on the lineup.
Yeah. No distractions gone, and go call up his agent Marcus Lato and ask him how is slotting into the Carolina lineup so far.
Yeah. Well, he had and he had a long way
make the top 12
with visa problems or whatever. But
yeah, he's still been healthy scratched for a week.
Yeah. He I mean, but it has accomplished that thing. The one, the person that we talked about it, and it was said even in the chat, is Fogel's doing what we wanted Puljujarvi to do. So he's stepped up. He's decided to step up and do that. And we and the one person that's not necessarily taking the reins is Yamamoto, and he's still, you
scored a couple in Buffalo.
Yeah, he did. And you talk about him. I mean, he is a puck hound. He did it again tonight. There are a couple times where he gets in the zone.
He's a turnover machine, man.
Turns it over as well. He just needs to get some finish.
When you're playing forward, doesn't matter what level of hockey, and you're on the, you're on that transition, and you don't know whether you need to bust your ass back and start to back check, or whether you can just kind of, can I just sit here in the slot for 3 more seconds and, maybe trust my guy to turn the puck over and I'm going to be wide open. He's that guy. He's always the guy that turns that puck over in that situation. He gives those guys so much more time that doesn't show up in assists and second assists. And, when Yamo's not scoring, he's still contributing. And I think that's important. So.
Yeah. I mean,
some guys, when they're not scoring, they're not contributing. And Yamo, I think he's always contributing somehow. I wish he was a little bit taller, and I wish he was a baller.
Neil,
wish he had a girl he could call her.
Are we wrapping our way through this episode? All right. What's your thoughts? There's still some people been a little bit negative on Darnell Nurse of late. I actually I'm all right with the way he's played, and I think and I've said this for a long time is the better utilization he gets, the better he gets, right? Like if he's not put into every situation,
extended.
Yeah, like I've been fine with the way he's played. I've been fine with the way the team has played. If they're as long as they continue to win games in the fashion they're winning them, and then the fact that they that comeback against Boston, I thought that's huge, right? And we're not talking a 7-4 Toronto type of game. We're talking a 3-2 game against a team that is equally as offensive to the Oilers in Boston, and defensively doesn't often let in 2 goals, let alone 3, right?
I read you the records. They did the impossible.
Yeah, they did. And so, I think this team, like when you just adding in Ekholm, and he's done what Duncan Keith did last year, which is, be a bit of a guiding force for Bouchard, right? The defense to me, despite the fact that we're still letting in, 4 or 5 a night sometimes, right?
7
twice in like the last 2 weeks. But oh man, it's like 7 goals. This is we're seeing some good old fashioned hockey.
Yeah.
Anyway, they appreciate that, Epiphany. Need some likes on the stream. These guys do a good job. Deserve a simple button push. I will highlight that one all day. Thank you. Glad that somebody comes out and does a listen. Neil's there. He's saying Nurse has been great in the last 5 years. Nurse is top 10 scoring 5v5 amongst D-men. He's been doing, I think, the challenge I've been saying that for a long time is utilization. You overutilize Darnell Nurse and you overutilize anybody, right? 25 minutes a night on a team that's not known for their defense.
Yeah.
I mean, give the guy a little bit of slack.
Yeah.
I think what we're doing now, with Ekholm in there and Bouchard seeming to show a little bit more defensive prowess when he's paired with the right guy.
We have a top 4 now.
Yeah.
We have a top 4 now.
Yeah.
Right? We showed it in not this game in Toronto, and Bouchard had the most time on ice. Right?
And Desharnais keeps getting better.
Yeah.
I love watching him play.
I've been saying it for weeks. This is going to be the playoffs where we all look back and go, this is where he took his step, right? I think he's got the skill set to be able to carry us in the playoffs and have that toughness and make all the guys around him play an inch taller. And that means something. It really does. It means something in the playoffs. Ekholm paired with Bouchard has given Bouchard that stability to, every offensive defenseman needs a defensive guy to hold him down, and now he's got one of the best. And Bouchard's plays showed for it. And if Nurse is getting chipped by McDavid Matthews and Tavares, and those guys are all owning him, then great, you can run Bouchard and Ekholm for a night and feel confident about it, right? And run CC and Nurse back on your second pairing. Like just having a top 4, Ekholm's just been so important, so important.
Yeah, he's been great, and he's he just takes a couple of those couple of those minutes from Nurse, right? And that's all you need to do, right?
Nurse
you just need to take a couple minutes. I'm just looking at the time on ice tonight, natural stat trick in the all. Surprised RNH just a minute less, second in minutes to Darnell Nurse tonight. He scored that Draisaitl-like goal there. That was a nice little.
God bless Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Man, absolutely. Here's some. So I put up there that Broberg hasn't seen the ice since that Jets game. Some comments coming around that. Neil Garrity says original Puzar thinks Broberg should be playing instead of Desharnais. I've liked the way Desharnais played. I'm a big fan of his. In fact, like on the penalty kill, the guy will get in the front of every shot, right? Like, I love that. I think he's played only so many games in the NHL, and he just seems to get better and better. The problem that I have is this: are we doing what we did to Bouchard, but with Broberg, right? Like, is he sitting too long now? Right, the last it's been 2 weeks. What Oilers have a next game at home on Thursday. Like if you don't play him,
the stretch is still coming, man.
Right,
the stretch is still coming. We got 14 games left, and 9 of them are against our division.
Yeah,
Broberg will be just fine. He'll get his reps.
Yeah, that's my only worry, and and then the curiosity is whether Woodcroft goes 11-7 in that stretch, or if he takes Desharnais out and sits him for a bit, and even that's not a bad thing, right? Like, let a guy like Desharnais, especially as you go into the playoffs, let a guy like him have a look from the press box and see where things are, right? Like, a lot of these players will talk to you about how that helps them out. And there's no doubt, Desharnais is aware that he's on that on the cusp of either being in or out of the lineup, and so obviously they all want to play. All right, let's see. Tavares apologized to Desharnais via text message.
Oh, he's probably shitting his pants. I would too. I'm sorry, Vinny. I didn't mean to almost break your wrist. Please don't smash my head next time I meet you.
Yeah, well, it won't be in the playoffs.
Oh, who cares? Long memory.
Next time they would see each other won't be till regular season next year.
Yeah. Here's the real question: do you think Vinny texted back and said, "Oh, sorry about the 4 cross checks and the 3 slashes before that"?
Yeah. I like Desharnais' response back, which was just part of the game. It's good. I mean, who cares?
Whatever.
Right? Like,
don't give him Don't give him the
don't
credit.
slash me in the first place, you idiot. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
The bar is clearly aimed right for in between his glove and elbow pad. Every hockey player knows that's a soft spot. So.
Yeah. Garrity says, I wish Broberg was 6'7" and shot right. Yeah, don't we all? Broberg, though, is going to have a career in the league. He's a good player, and
So.
I hope it'll be on the Oilers. I think it'll be on the Oilers. I think he's definitely the right guy. Oh man, I tell you. All right, we got Dallas Stars coming up Thursday at home.
Yes, we're both laughing at you, Epiphany.
We got the Dallas Stars coming up on Thursday. The Stars, I mean, we haven't really. When's the last time we saw the Stars? When was that? That was going back.
Jeez.
January. We have played them. December. Beat them 6-3 in December. Completely different team.
Yeah, they're deep.
Yeah, like this the next couple weeks, right? We're gonna play as you said, teams in the division. We're gonna play teams in the conference.
14 out of 14 are in the West, 9 out of 14 are in the division, and 5 out of the 14 are teams that are ahead of us. Although, wait, let me check the standings. No, we're ahead of Seattle now. So 4 out of the 14 are, LA and Vegas. I think the season, the West is set. We know which 8 teams are going to be in the playoffs. It's just where they seed. And I think our season will be decided between March 28th and April 4th.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. It doesn't matter at this point. I mean, the only thing that matters is who you play, right? In whatever
March
round.
25th and April 4th. That's March 25th is Vegas. Then we have Arizona. Then we have Vegas. Then we have LA. Then we have Anaheim. Then we have LA.
Yeah.
So those 5 games right there. Or 4 games, Vegas, LA, and the only thing in between is a little bit of dessert in Arizona and Anaheim. So, right, I think those 6 games right there dictate where we play. How we do in those 6 games will dictate where we slot.
So, I mean, is there a preference for who you play in the first round? Right? Like, is there somebody you don't want to play in the first round?
I don't really want to play Dallas if we end up in the wild card.
Yeah. I mean, it's looking even more and more like Vegas is on a tear right now.
Yeah, they still don't scare me for some reason. I don't know why. I just think I don't want to get outground by somebody or out-bullied by somebody or, right? You know how St. Louis won the cup after being last in January? They just beat the shit out of everybody and bullied everybody and intimidated everybody all the way to a Stanley Cup. And I just think that's the team I don't want to run into. I think we can outgun anybody, right? Like we just did it to the Bruins for F's sakes. Like,
yeah, and you go into the playoffs, and it's obviously a new season. I still, I look at this, and we're talking about how McDavid, got upset with Bouchard today, right? Like he keeps saying it. He's on a different level. Like this is going to be, he's on a different level in the regular season right now. He's going to be on a different level come playoffs.
mm-hmm.
And we just get this sense from him that he's ready. Like he's going to do whatever it takes, and he's going to drag everybody with him. Right? Like he's going to take this team as far as he possibly can. If at the end of the day, the Oilers need 3 goals to win a playoff game, he's going to score all 3 of them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's going to start taking over games in the playoffs like we haven't seen him do before. I believe that. believe that 100%. He's just turned a corner in his career. Like, he was great before, he's great now. Like, even
He's
more
better
so.
now.
Yeah, he's better now. Like,
who do you want to see? Who do you not want to see? Like, if the season ends today, we play Minnesota.
Yeah, the only team I wouldn't want to enter in the first round with would be Colorado. And that's not looking likely the way that it's all shaping up.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Right now, Dallas and Vegas lead their divisions, which will take off the 2 wild cards in Seattle and Winnipeg. So that leaves Minnesota, Colorado.
Well, you play within your division first, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It would be Minnesota starting today.
Yeah.
Sorry, it would be LA starting today.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I would. That's the only team I wouldn't want to see. I would love to see another LA Edmonton series.
Well, that's how it looks right now. Yeah. I wouldn't care about Vegas. I wouldn't care about LA. I certainly wouldn't care about Seattle. Winnipeg scares me a little bit. Minnesota scares me a little bit. Dallas scares me more than a little bit. Colorado, yeah. We'll see with their injuries, man. Manson needs to come back. Landeskog looks to be out. That's 2 big pieces of grit. They lost Kadri. It's a lot of the players that stopped us from going anywhere last year. But that said, if it's going to be I think we can outrace anybody and outsprint anybody. But if there's anybody that can outsprint us, it's probably McKinnon and Makar, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And Makar is, if he's playing and he's healthy, he is absolutely outstanding. In my mind, he is the, if you're not talking McDavid, Makar's definitely up there, right, as one of the best players in the league.
If he stays healthy,
yeah, when he's healthy, and that's the challenge, and so if assuming you've got Makar and like the Makar McKinnon matchup with Draisaitl and McDavid, it's different because Makar's a defenseman. He's damn good on both sides of the puck too, right? Like the way he plays against McDavid is, I'd argue he's one of the best defensemen to play against McDavid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, if you neutralize McDavid and you're as offensively gifted as Makar is, and you can get the puck out of your zone, it's a big advantage, right? Not that I just don't. I mean, I don't believe that there'd be anybody neutralizing McDavid this year. Not that they did that last year. He still got points on the board. I think this team is a little bit different. They're a little bit. The depth is there, to play a better playoff style, like to play that game in Boston and not have a point.
Yeah.
Right. Like for McDavid. I mean, that's not something this team.
They figured out how to neutralize McDavid. The Bruins got beat by secondary scoring, right? Draisaitl got 1 assist, and Nuge and McConnor both went pointless. So,
well, and
that's not going to happen very often either.
Tiffany brings up something, and maybe it's maybe it's not the team we should be worried about. It's which goalie do you want to play against?
Oh, Korpisalo,
right?
Korpisalo. Out of those 2 choices, not that I want to face Korpisalo, but out of those 2 choices, it's Korpisalo and Korpisalo.
There you go. So I mean maybe that's the better way to think of it, and if that's if you're thinking about the the goalie situation, then Colorado is maybe not necessarily the one that you're most worried about, but certainly Dallas, like Ettinger, and just what he did last year was ridiculous.
He's too good.
He is too good, and so that I could see being maybe a part that, but again, we talk about these guys and Draisaitl and McDavid. I just think they're going to bring a different level, right? It might not matter, right? Like it didn't matter to some of the old Oiler greats, right? And I'm 100% sure. Some stranger said like this might be the first year that somebody in the bottom part of the league for goals against actually could win the cup. I think they have that capability. The only challenge is that this team also has the capability to incredibly disappoint us, right? Like
we
but
beat Vegas 4-3 in
yeah.
both games we played them.
Yeah. So, Epiphany says Ottinger is maybe a wee bit unbalanced as he's a bit offensive for a goalie.
He's so good.
Yeah, he is good.
But he's really good at goaltending.
Yeah. Yeah, look, any goalie in the playoffs, sometimes, everybody calls them voodoo for a good reason, right? Like sometimes you expect there's a few guys that you knew would always be good, like Hasek, Kiprasov, those guys were, playoff goalies that were just seemed to, rise to the challenge and could play, nonstop. But Ottinger or Ettinger, what is it, Ettinger or Ottinger?
I think Ottinger. I don't know.
Yeah. So Ottinger, though, he had one good series, right? So we don't really know yet if he's that guy, right? We suspect he is, and you're probably right, but maybe it was just one. He's played well this year. Obviously, he's top part of the league for save percentage. But yeah, it could, anything could change. Flames
5-1
against
the Knights in the last 6 games we played them.
Yeah. What is it? Sorry,
I'm not scared of them. We're 5-1 in our last 6 games against the Knights.
Oh yeah,
we haven't lost to them this year. We shut them out last year in a game. We've only lost to them once in the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, I'm not, and I've, it's not. That's not a
Eichel
team
versus McDavid.
Yeah, they're not a team that brings a lot of fear to me. The Golden Knights. In fact, I'd be more inclined to be scared of, a team like Colorado or Dallas than any of the other teams in the division. Winnipeg, maybe, if Hellebuck were to, be on fire during the playoffs, that'd be a tough out. But that could be, like you could have Dallas ending up playing Winnipeg in the first round. That would eliminate 2 of the top goaltenders in the conference, or one of the top goaltenders in the conference.
And 2 of the biggest teams.
Yeah.
One of the 2 big teams.
That would be not so bad as far as the Oilers go. All right. Yeah. We are closing in at the hour. I'll talk to the focus groups on your three questions. Maybe we gotta fix it up a little bit, get it going a little bit, and
sure.
Put something around that, a little format around there. Maybe have the questions ready in advance rather than have to think about them on the fly. Something like that. But
that's a good
hey, you know what, Dash? I don't say this often, but good suggestion. Good suggestion. Keep them coming. You get a gold star, the heavy hockey gold star, and I won't
put it right up over here by my captain's jersey.
By your captain's jersey. You got to tell everybody the story behind that. So for the heavy,
Michael called me one night before the tournament started.
Here's the real story.
You know what? I'll tell it when you're on mute.
Yeah. Here's the real story, and it's hilarious, and I find it quite funny. So as everybody knows, it's been watching and thank you for tuning in. We had the heavy hockey showdown 2 Saturdays ago now. And we ended up between us and the Oilers girls night ended up raising over $25,000 for the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton. So really great job. But of course I flew in from Halifax to play. And I had the jerseys with me, and I had the jerseys they were at Dash's place, and we got to the arena, and I looked at my jersey, and it had an A on there, and I I literally had a moment of confusion where I couldn't remember ever putting an A on the jersey. So here's the advice to all of you: if you know Dash well enough to leave anything there, he's got some type of vinyl iron or something that he can put letters and numbers. So he put a C on his jersey and an A on mine, which was a hell of a prank. I would have made you see anyway if you just asked, but but I did enjoy that, and for a moment, like if you hadn't told me before we got on the ice, I probably wouldn't have even noticed until after. Yeah, Neil says, "What's that C stand for?" I'm not allowed to say that on the
podcast. Yeah. Tune in next Tuesday.
That's right. Yeah, see you next Tuesday. All right. I think that's it. I think that's what we got tonight. Oilers defeat the Ottawa Senators 6-3 in Edmonton. Leon Draisaitl looks like he's well on his way to another 50-goal season, which is pretty awesome. Oilers power play continues to click despite the loss of Tyson Barrie. They're still on the same trajectory, I think. Has it changed in their last since Barrie's been gone, or are they still at 30%? And now I've got to check that. I'll check that out for next episode.
I don't know that. It just looks like a different power play. Ultimately, I think it's operates a little bit differently, and
I love what Bouchard brings to the power
there.
play.
He's always distributing to one of the half walls, and Bouchard just creates another risk. So it's another lane they've got to be aware of. So.
Nuge is getting close to 100 points. He's right up there. He's on pace for 100 points right now, right? Like he's at 82.
Neil is at 31.5 with Bouchard, or since the trade.
Is that what it is? There you go. Neil says, yeah. Which would be just above what they were trending before. So with Bouchard, I think the Oilers always had the opportunity to use Bouchard, and I screamed about it for a long time. But Barrie, don't break it if it's not broken. If it's currently 31.5%, which means it's increased a little bit, because I think it was 30.5 before the deadline. So
there you go. Either Neil's mashing buttons or he dropped some nacho cheese on his keyboard.
He said he wasn't wearing his glasses earlier.
C stands for cheese.
Cheese. That's what it stands for. Yeah. All right. I do love the jersey and the glass. Looks good. I will finish it up. But, same as always, I'll give Dash the last word tonight. I'll put myself on mute. Always feels like I'm kind of giving my life away when I do that, but it is risky, and I continue to do it. I'm still here today. Leon Draisaitl, of course, makes 100 points tonight. Again, unbelievable. Again, thank you to everybody that did get out to the Heavy Hockey Showdown. Absolutely unbelievable that between us and Oilers Girls Night, that we made $25,000. It's about the equivalent of about 266 hours of specialized counseling for people in need. So that's a pretty big deal.
That weren't available to them before, that now dents into a 15-month wait list.
So absolutely outstanding. It's great there that we were able to do that. I'm pretty excited about that. I've got nothing else. I'm looking forward to the Dallas game. I said after last Tuesday's show that the Oilers were going to go 2-0 and beat Toronto, and I thought that I was a magician when they were up on Toronto. I thought, I told you guys, and then I don't know what happened. Ryan McLeod happened. That's what happened. And that Marner goal. Okay, like I've got to call that.
There you go. Always running Ryan McLeod out of town.
I know. That Marner goal
Embarrassing.
was sick.
It was unbelievable.
It was sick. Yeah.
Like, that's the last guy in the league you want to give the puck to in close quarters.
Like,
wow.
I still can't believe that on, and now I'm way off topic, but I still can't believe on Sportsnet they're talking about Matthews versus McDavid. It's not Matthews versus McDavid. Marner's the star of that team. Like, hands down. Guy's good.
Yeah, but McDavid's only good because of Draisaitl.
Yeah. That's right. So true. Mitch Marner is a hell of a player. Well, he is a hell of a player.
Matthews has played way more time on ice with Marner than Draisaitl has with McDavid.
Oh yeah. No, and just what he did there with the puck was absolutely outstanding. I'll call it for what it is. Hell of a goal. Maybe not as good as Draisaitl's. Put the net back on, shove the puck in.
No.
But up there in goals of the year for sure.
Not as nifty as Ryan Lotzberg at the Heavy Hockey Showdown.
That's right.
But still pretty cute.
Pretty cute. All right. That's all I got for you tonight. As always, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, which you should, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the likes, like Epiphany said. Give us a couple likes. Do all of that anywhere you find podcasts. You find the Heavy Hockey channel. And I'm gonna put this out there. I think there's gonna be a couple more surprises yet for Heavy Hockey in the next couple months. And as the Oilers go through the playoffs, I think you'll see a couple big changes for the better. I'm pretty excited about that. Not 100% on what that means yet, but I'll just put that out there right now. And Dash, you, sir, are up with the last word. Have a great night, everybody. Dash is up.
All right. Well, he promised me for the 15th straight podcast that he wouldn't go over an hour. So here I am giving the last word at an hour and 2 minutes. So I will keep it quick, but I would like to say that I love doing this with you, buddy. You know that. Just a fantastic time hanging out with you here in Edmonton, being your defense partner, even though we came out on the wrong end of the score. Our charity came out on the right end, and that's what's most important. Fantastic going to Buffalo with you and watching a little bit of a game on the road and hitting the highway. I kept going, watched the game in Boston. So I'm considering myself a little bit of a lucky road charm right now. We just about went to the Toronto game and we didn't, and then we lost. So obviously if I would have went, we would have won. Lesson learned for me there. But ultimately just was honored to be a part of that game. Great to be back on the air with you. It's weird looking at your on-air face instead of your real face. And, this is a fun time to be an Oilers fan. There's a lot of fun hockey ahead of us. I think, with 14 games left, 9 of them divisional games, they all matter from here on out. We're peaking at the right time. We've got the 2 best players in the universe going nuclear. Finally, our goaltending is good enough. Finally, our defense is good enough. There's experts all over the world, and including Kevin Bieksa that I talked to at the airport, that are picking the Edmonton Oilers to go to the Cup final. And, it's why not our year? Why not us? I'm looking forward to it. I think that it's going to be fun down the stretch. So other than that, I don't have much else to say. So I will maybe just pull a Avril Lavigne and get the fuck off the stage here. Good night, everybody.